In this example, we're going to look at how we go about listing out various child resources on a page, on a MODx resource, and then how we go about when the user clicks on the link, it goes to that particular page on the website. But how do we do that all in one template? For example, what I'm trying to point out is, what if on the same template we wanted to list out all the child resources using get resources? When someone clicks read more, it takes them over to that particular resource, but it has a different layout. Again, using the same template. Well, let me go ahead and explain. If we go ahead and look here on this particular site in MODx, let's pull this open. And what happens is, whenever you create a new child resource under solutions, obviously it's going to inherit the same template, which is solutions. So there's a number of ways you can go about doing this. You can either create a template variable where you put the get resource call and it will populate that on the page, or an approach I kind of like a little more. I'll show you here, because I don't like putting different code on different pages in template variables if I don't have to, because when I go back to update the code, you can't figure out where did you put the code, where did you put the get resources in the template, is in a template variable. It gets a little tricky to hunt things down. So what I do is this: if I'm looking at this page, and this is a template here that I'm looking just at the standard code that we've got, and this is the solutions template. What I've got is I've got a wrapper here. Let's go down here, and I've got two articles. Let me just split these up so you can see these a little better. Okay, I've got a column 2 and a column 3. So let's say, just hypothetically, we want to show column 3 on the main show, the showcase here on the solutions page, but when someone clicks read more, we don't want them to see showcase anymore, and we want to change things up on the template a little. So let me go ahead and illustrate by coding this out, and let me show you. So here's how I would approach it. I would say, using if, I would say if, and I'll say and subject ID, and operator equals an operand, what we're going to compare it against, and we're going to say, okay, if it's an ID of 4, we'll put that here. So we're going to say if the ID equals 4, we'll do this. We'll output certain code. We'll say else output a different set of code. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this. I am going to copy this right here, delete it, bring this up a little, and I'm going to come down here, and we'll create the code for that page that the get resource links to here in a second. So what we'll do first is this. We'll say, okay, so if it's 4, we're going to do this. We will output, let's go ahead and let's just do this. I want to copy this code, and I'm going to create a new file here. I'll call it, in the chunks, I'll call it solutions page list. I'll go ahead and drop this code in here. This is going to be used in our get resource, and you'll see in a second. And let's just go ahead and change those out, because as we know, on get resource you don't use the asterisk, you use the plus sign. So we will go ahead and use this syntax here to link, when someone clicks read more, to click to the ID of that page. Okay, so let's come back here, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and delete this out, and we'll put in get resource. So we'll say get resources and TPL. And we'll just use this one right here, solutions page list. And remember, we have got to go into MODx real quick and import that into the chunk. And let's do that real quick. So we'll create a chunk called solutions page TPL, and we will import that from the file. That's already done with the file system, so let's go over here, go to assets, go to templates, and here it is, I believe. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and save that. That's going to pull that into the system, into the database. There it is, just the way we want it. So let's go ahead and close that. So we got that set up. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so we're right here in the code, and we'll establish the parents to be equal to 4 and sort by menu index and sort. Okay, so what this is saying is go to the parent that has a ID of 4, which is solutions. We'll tell it to list all out the children. The parents is 4, using this template which we've already established just a second ago here, and we'll sort it in this particular way. Okay, so this is going to be everything that will show up here on this page. We'll switch this code out in just a minute. Okay, so now we'll create the inside page. So we have this else statement here. So why don't we set it up for what we want it to look like when someone goes to that page. So we will establish that, and again, we just took all this code out of here. So let's grab this. I'm going to put it back in here. You'll see what I'm going to do in just a second. We're going to create a new wrapper for it. We'll call it article class, and we'll just call it call new. And I have not tested this HTML. I'm just doing this for the sake of showing you how to do this in MODx. Okay, and obviously we'll switch it back to the asterisk, and we'll take out this read more button because we're not going to need that. Okay, so here's what we got, and let's walk through this real quick. What we're telling the system is, on the solutions template, if the ID is equal to 4, which is the solutions parent, whenever someone lands on this page, we want to list out all the children resources underneath, and using this particular format, using content with a read more button. We want to list it out in this way, and we still want this showcase here on the right hand column. But we say whenever someone clicks read more, as we're going to see in a second, they hop over to that page, we want them to now see this layout with call new. And we might want to throw one extra thing in here. We'll just say a link, and we'll link it back to 4, which is their parent. And we'll say return to parent, or to solutions, I don't know, something like that. Again, you can go and edit this at your will, but you'll get the idea. Okay, so we've got everything hopefully set up correctly. So we'll save it. Let's go ahead and clear the cache to update this change that we made. And let's go ahead and refresh this, and hopefully it worked. Okay, so we have an array. It told us, hey, something's not right here. This is usually a good sign that something's broken. So why don't we go back and look at our code real quick. Sometimes I've noticed with if you have to use if you've got get resources nest inside of if you have to cache things a little differently. So we see that this showcase worked. This is using get resources as well. So why don't we take a look at that? And this is inside the if inside of the if statement that we have here, but it's working. And as you see, we've got it uncached. So we set ours originally to cache. So let me see if that's the problem. Let's clear the cache out because we just updated this template. Let me refresh it, and that's not fixing the problem. So let me pause this. I'm going to look at the code and see if I can. Okay, so after pausing the code, I figured out what the problem was. I had misnamed this TPL. So the correct name, I just forgot to put the underscore TPL on the end. I did that, and I found one other problem in the code. I put long title. Let's put page title. And there's one other thing. We have content. Get resources by default does not output the content, so you have to tell it and include content equals 1. You have to tell it, yeah, also populate that. So let's clear the cache and let's take a look and see if that works. So we'll come over here and we don't see our content, so let's take a look and see what we did wrong. If we look, we have include content. Let's see, I think it might be an uppercase issue. If not, we'll go look at the documents real quick. And that's what it was. So now whenever you click read more, it will take you over to this page, and there is the content in this new column, or new articles rather, that we have, so the new layout, rather, the new column layout we have. Now if we notice the title's not showing up because we put long title, so let's change that to page title. And yet again, let's clear cache. Come over here and refresh it. And there it is. Return to solutions takes you back to this page, and click over and this will be the page. Now obviously this is really rough looking, not that sexy looking, but you get the idea of how to go about using if to write, just saying, hey, if it's this page, I'll put this template component. If it's this page, I'll put this layout. Hopefully that makes sense.